Hi, this is Renestanley from Movie Review Relay, and today we're talking about Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Yeah, I saw it, it was wonderful. I have to tell you, no disappointments in this movie. You're looking for action, you're an action junkie? This is for you. Don't be late, because of course the action starts right away. The Mission Impossible films always has this great prologue, your mission, should you decide to accept it. And you get all warm and fuzzy, especially when you're my age and you've seen the old ones. This is a staple of the film. It gets you excited right away. So the prologue comes on. It's this wonderful scene. I have to tell you, there's a lot of action from start to finish, so you're gonna love this. The stunts are spectacular. I'm sure you must have heard this, but I'm telling you now, some of it makes me nervous. I'm like, how far will our guy, Tom Cruise, go to make these fabulous movies? I love them, I eat them up. However, yeah, it makes me a little nervous. I get a little frightened sometimes, you know? And I guess because most of us have grown up, we movie lovers, with Tom Cruise, we don't want anything to happen to him. But anyway, the stunts are wonderful. The CGI and the special effects that they use, they're almost seamless. You have to look twice. Well, did he really do that, or was that drawn in? You know, that sort of thing. I did see some of the publicity outtakes, but still, it didn't matter. I was still excited each time these stunts came about to see how it was executed on screen, and it is amazing. There's a wonderful train sequence that's excellent. There's some car chases. You know, these things are staples of the movie. But again, you will enjoy it. It's always so exciting to see how they do these things. Just wait till you see how wonderfully edited this film is. And I say that because I have such respect for editors, especially when there's action scenes that involve so much motion and so many characters. All right, but let's get back to the movie. Tom, he only trusts a few people. Vingrhames is back as Luther. And Benji, the Simon Pegg guy, he's back. And Roberta Ferguson is back. Now, she was in a couple of other movies, and at first she was rogue, but now, you know, he seems to trust her as well. There's another new character, Ashley Atwell. We don't know. She's a little ambiguous. We have to find exactly what side she's on. These new characters, you always have to be wary of them. But there is a death. I'll save it for the spoilers. I told you, I don't tell everything. I just tell a little bit here and there. You let me know. I won't spoil it now. But I tell you what, I'm going to put up some cakes and stuff and let you know. And I'm going to spoil it. Are you ready? Now I'll tell you a little bit more. All right, so big submarine has a lot of artificial intelligence. It goes rogue. The whole world wants this submarine with the key. There's a key that controls it. They want that. So does America. Tom Cruise is told to get it, but he's fighting bureaucracy, which he always does. You know, they're always turning on him. I don't know if you remember some of the other films. All right, so he's trying to get the key, and other entities are trying to get the key. Of course, a lot of times they use the Russians. All right, but actually the whole world wants this key. All right, and I think it's interesting that they're using the artificial intelligence storyline. I think it's interesting that they're using crypto. They're mentioning all these things that are contemporary issues in today's society. Do you want me to spoil it? Oh, that's a big old bug just flew in here. All right, so maybe the bug came to get me because I'm going to spoil the film. All right, so. All right, so Mission Impossible begins as we are introduced to Russian intelligence. We're aboard a Russian submarine that's being attacked by its own torpedo. This opening scene demonstrates the power of the entity, the most dangerous artificial intelligence on Earth that cannot be detected by any of the world's military. The submarine and its crew die. as the key that controls the device is seen around the captain's neck, on his necklace, and his body as well sinks to the bottom of the ocean with the crashed submarine. All right, so the submarine has emerged and so is the key. Ethan Hunt, in the meantime, Tom Cruise character, is given the assignment to find that second key that controls this vessel, because evidently the vessel needs two keys to operate its artificial intelligence to control it. And Ethan must discover this key and give it to the government. At the same time, he's being told his friend Elsa was involved. So he has a personal connection here. Kittredge is the head of a IMF, which I think is an acronym for Impossible Missions Force. All right, so he knows all about, he's supposed to know everything that Ethan is doing. And the IMF is like the suicide squad. They take care of business that no one else wants to deal with. And they are expendable at the end of the day, so that if they die, no one cares. All right, so the next scene involves a flashback. You got a gunfight involving Ethan and Elsa against some mercenaries there in the desert. Now remember that Elsa is presumed to be dead by the government. So we presume that she died, but then we find out in this flashback she didn't die. Ethan saved her, and Ethan then obtains the key from Elsa. It's a flashback, so this is done a while ago. All right, so now he wants to find the other half of the key so he can learn the key's power. Ethan is now intrigued himself. Why do people want this key? What is it for? What does it do? We learn the entity, the artificial intelligence now that destroyed the submarine earlier, behaves like a super virus. It's dynamic in its behavior, and it can obtain intelligence. It can manipulate the global markets, which means money, information. Crypto doesn't matter. It can control everything. So whomever can get control of the key can control the world. I mean, that's the way you have to look at that. Several parties chase Ethan, all right? You got Kittredge, because Kittredge doesn't know if Ethan went rogue or not. You got Gabriel, who's the villain. He wants the key. All these people are after Ethan. We don't know about Gabriel till a little bit later on. We don't know who he is. These faces are always chasing Ethan. That's the way it is. All right, so Ethan can only use Luther and Benji at this time because those are the only ones that he trusts with his life. He's been dealing with those guys for years. That's his crew. That's who he's riding with. So we learned there's a meeting of potential buyers for this key at Abu Dhabi airport. So the trio, Ethan, Benji, and Luther, they go to the airport. They intercept, I should say, a thief. Her name is Grace, who pickpockets the key from another person. But then the key is revealed to be a fake. They learn later on. All right. At the same time, there's a nuclear bomb threat, which appears to be a decoy, but at the time you don't know. Benji tries to defuse the bomb at the airport, and he gets a first-hand taste of this mechanism, the entity, this artificial intelligence, as it plays with his mind. You know, you'll see that part. It's interesting. In the meantime, Grace gets away from the buyers who think she has the real key, you know, and she probably does. She runs away, and now she's boarding a plane. The plane lands in Italy, okay? Grace is detained by the Italian police through Interpol because she's a thief and she's done other crimes, and that's like a red flag alert when she comes aboard. All right. Enter the villain, Gabriel, played by Asa Morales. And of course, he's looking for the key too. Ethan finds a way to help Grace escape, but then Grace betrays him. She escapes from Ethan. Okay. But there's an elaborate chase scene. It's fantastic. It's long, but it's good. You'll enjoy it. Benji, Luther, and Ethan are joined by Elsa, who fights and later dies trying to protect Ethan. Now, Elsa, if you watched any of Mission Impossible films, you've seen her before. If not, don't worry about it. All you need to know is she cares something about Ethan. That's why she went to intervene and help him get away and fight Ethan's enemies. And I just want to say the cinematography in this film is beautiful. When you see this scene of I'm going to call him Ethan, of Ethan and Elsa riding along the water in Italy, in Venice, how beautiful is that lit? How nicely it's done. Wait till you see it. That first attempt to get the key to the airport was foiled. Here now is another meeting set up in a nightclub. Gabriel is there, of course, and Elder the Byers. Everyone who's interested in there. Ethan, I should say, comes in. All the parties are there. Gabriel confronts Grace, the broker, which is Alana, and she's another one. Alana, don't get her mixed up with Elsa. Alana is another character who was in a previous film. But anyway, of course, with all these people interested in the key, there's a physical altercation. A fight breaks out, and here's another chase. Yeah. Ethan and Grace are on the run again. Got great direction and editing, and is showcased throughout the film. In particular, one fight that was set in the alleyway that seemed to have been maybe, I would say, no wider than 3 feet, and it might have been 10 feet long. I don't know. Okay, but here's the point. Some of this was filmed from the ceiling, and it looks like at the same time, simultaneously, another camera was filming on either side of the fight horizontally. It's so well done. Wait till you see this fight scene and how it was filmed. It reminded me a little bit of the John Wick 4 scene where he's attacking these people and they're filming from the ceiling. It's similar to that, but in a much smaller space. You'll see it. You gotta see it. Ethan survives this fight in this narrow alley. One of the assailants that attacked him is killed. The other one is a woman that he lets live. He shows her mercy. She's the same actress who plays Mantis. If you've ever seen Guardians of the Galaxy or some of the Marvel films, and it's a long last name, it starts with a K. I have the guys put it at the beginning in the credits so you'll see it. But anyway, Mantis lady is, she's being spared. Ethan spares her life, all right? So in the meantime, Grace, everyone's trying to kill you. You don't know who to trust, who not to. You don't know if you're going to be dead or alive. So you decide to work with the IMF. You decide to, work with Ethan, Benji, and Luther, hoping that this will save your life. The next meeting is on the train. Grace has a mask that allows her to impersonate Alana. And Ethan was supposed to wear a mask too. However, he was not able. You'll see why. So instead, he has to jump from a motorcycle onto a speeding train. The train is running through Paris. The plan is to get the key, and Luther instructs Ethan, please do not confront or fight Gabriel or kill him because you want to get revenge for Elsa's death. Instead, could you just bring him back so we can find out what this key does and what it's for? We see Kittredge, the IMF broker. He's in on a meeting too. Well, he's not a broker. Kittredge is the head of the IMF. But the point is, he's there like a broker trying to make a deal as well. Gabriel is there because he wants the key as well. And he attacks his own minion, actually. That's how desperate he is. Paris, the woman that we said plays Mathis in the Marvel movies. All right, so he attacks her, and we're thinking she's dead because she has this huge stab wound. All right, but anyway, it's the movie. So let's go back to Ethan. Ethan is at the top of the cliff, looking down in the ravine where the train is going to pass through, in that area there. He's got to jump from this cliff onto the speeding train. It has to time it just right, the whole thing. It's a whole comical thing that goes on here that's really funny. You guys got to see. Tom makes it. He does make the landing. Gabriel sees Ethan landing on the train, and he gives Ethan a run for his money. He fights Ethan on the traveling high-speed train. Okay. Now, I should have said the conductor is dead. I think Gabriel's people got to him ahead of time and hung him. So there's nobody driving this train. It's really a runaway train. Gabriel has detonated a bomb on the bridge. The bomb detonates. It derails the train and starts to descend into the water, car by car. Ethan, Grace, and one of the old comrades, Jasper, I believe his name is, they try to get all the passengers to go to the end car so that hopefully by that time the momentum will have stopped and some of these people can be salvaged. In the meantime, you have Grace and Ethan hanging on, getting ready to fall in the ravine and die. Except that now, here we are now, we see a woman we thought was dead. Paris, the Mantis character. She's not a Mantis character, but you know what I mean. All right, so here she is. She saves Ethan and Grace. I thought she was dead from her stab wounds. I don't know. We'll figure that, I guess, in part 2, what happened, why she's alive again. All right, anyway. They say at the end of the movie, oh, she still has a pulse. So I guess that should explain everything, right? No, it doesn't, but it's okay. We'll wait and see how she survived that wound. All right, so anyway, here come the Paris authorities. Everybody now has to scatter to the winds because everything's supposed to be secret, you know? Ethan escapes. Grace stays behind because Ethan only had one parachute. And Ethan is a little conflicted. He's a little frustrated because he's promised so many of his people that have died around him and one that's still alive. I can't save everybody. I can't save you all. However, and I'm paraphrasing, it's said differently, but the point he's making is, even though I can't save every one of you, he says, I will always put your life ahead of mine. It's such a wonderful scene. This is so well written. I'm telling you, this is such a well done film. I have to give it credit. All right, so writers, kudos. Editing, kudos. Cinematography, kudos. Direction, kudos. Did I miss anybody? These guys are wonderful. The last scene is a submarine. We saw it at the beginning. It's at the bottom of the ocean now. We assume that the key is still on the captain's neck, who was submerged and died with the crew at the beginning of the movie. That's where we end off. You gotta stay tuned until next year when Mission Impossible Reckoning Part 2 will be released. And then we can find out what happened to all these people and who will control the world. Okay? I love you guys. All right, so what's the rating for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1? Well, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 easily comes in at a 4.5. And give it an extra 0.5 point if you love Mission Impossible like there's no tomorrow. Until we meet again, it's Renestanley for Movie Review. Hi, this is Renestanley for Movie Review Relay. Today we're talking about Tom Cruise's new movie, Dead Reckoning Part 1. A bug just flew in here. I'm just a little afraid. All right, so until we meet again, it's Renestanley for a Movie Review Relay.